What is up everyone, this is Cher talking and welcome back to my channel. On today's video, I want to talk about something different. We got the nominees for the Game Awards 2024 that will happen on December 12th at Los Angeles, United States. So, I haven't seen so many JRPGs being nominated at any the Game Awards, and that's why I'm making this video, so that we can discuss the impact of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Metaphor ReFantazio this year. Well, I love that these games were also released very far from each other so that they could each both shine during their release. So, well, in the first page we just have news about the event. I will go straight out to the categories. They have 29 categories here. Some of them are not really related to anything that could be used for JRPG, for Best Esports Scene, Best Esports Athlete. So those don't fit. And I found it extremely interesting that we had actually 14 categories that had a JRPG included. Well, that's really good. So I will be going over each one of them. The first one is, well, not really a JRPG game, because it's talking about Best Adaptation. And I wanted to talk about it because Like a Dragon Yakuza was released during this year to great to mixed reviews, but people have at least said that it's good enough to watch. I watched Fallout, but Fallout was amazing. I will actually watch Like a Dragon in a near future. It is also interesting to note that Like a Dragon Infinity Wealth was released this year and it only appeared once in the Game Awards. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Here we have Best Scene Strategy. Best game focused on real-time or turn-based simulation or strategy gameplay, irrespective of platform. Well, we have Unicorn Overlord here. Unicorn Overlord is an amazing game that I actually didn't beat. I didn't have enough time to, but I love it what I played out of it since I'm a big fan of Ogre Battle 64, Tactics Ogre, and the original SNES Ogre Battle. And it's nice to see that it was competing with Age of Mythology, Frostpunk, Kunitsu, Gummy, Path of the Goddess, and Manor Lords. This is also somewhat of a JRPG as well. I think in this case here, they may actually go with Age of Mythology because people love this game. Unicorn Overlord is a little way too niche. Moving to the next category, we have Best Family Game. And this is interesting because I don't understand why they are saying it being appropriate for family play, since actually Super Mario Party is the only real multiplayer game here. All the other games are more about games made for kids. Adults play as well, but whatever. Moving on to the next category, Best RPG. And here is something extremely interesting. At this year, all 5 nominees are developed on Japan. Dragon's Dogma 2 by Capcom, Elden Ring from Software, that is now participating with a DLC, something that hasn't happened before. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon Infinity Wealth, and then Metaphor ReFantazio. Now, this is also the start of the fight of this century. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth versus Metaphor ReFantazio. Those two games will compete in many categories. And it's nice because they are just so different. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth went through a more action-paced experience, while Metaphor ReFantazio is still traditional, even though you can use action-based combat to ignore weaker enemies. It's still a turn-based JRPG at its core, while Final Fantasy VII Rebirth still has slower systems than Final Fantasy XVI, but it's more action-paced. Well, I do believe that one of those will be the greatest winner of the night, but I don't know. I believe that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth may win at this, because Metaphor ReFantazio had a lot of performance issues. Although Final Fantasy VII Rebirth also had at release for the performance mode that is now fixed via PS5 Pro that also somewhat fixes some of the issues with the Metaphor ReFantazio, but not all of them. So based on experience, I believe Final Fantasy VII may win at the best RPG. The next one will be best mobile game, and here we have plenty of RPGs too. Wuthering Waves, Zenless Zone Zero, and AFK Journey. Balatro, that appeared in many categories as well, and then Pokemon trading card game, recently released and already appearing here. I do believe that Balatro or Pokemon trading card game will win at this category. Then moving for best community support, and here we have Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy XIV, alongside Fortnite, Helldivers 2, and No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky wins many different times because it is a game that has been receiving many updates for free, but Baldur's Gate allowed people to use mods even in consoles, and that is not something that you see every day. Final Fantasy XIV got new updates, but they are paid ones, mostly, and it was not super well received. Some people didn't enjoy the last update. So Fortnite is a game that always competes as well. Helldivers is a big number, but Baldur's Gate will likely win. And it's a game from the past year that won in many categories as well. Best ongoing, and now you can see that Baldur's Gate is not here because it doesn't get as many content updates. It's more about quality of life, new endings, and small changes. We have Destiny 2, Diablo 4, Final Fantasy XIV, Fortnite, and Helldivers. Helldivers may win, but it's not as hot as it was at the start of the year, so we may see Fortnite or Final Fantasy XIV again. Then, best performance, and this is a very complicated choice because I have seen all of these works. I haven't played all of these games fully, but I have watched trailers and gameplays, and I know why people would choose Luke Roberts for Silent Hill 2 and why they would choose Brianna White for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I have watched the music scene with Brianna White and it was amazing. So people said that in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, most of the actors are doing an amazing job. So because of that, it may be the case that they will give Brianna White the victory so that she can actually share somewhat with her companions. Luke Roberts is doing an amazing job, but he's the only guy that has been nominated here for Silent Hill 2, while I'm sure that other people from the game are also doing an amazing job. As for Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, a lot of people thought that the second game was inferior to the first. She already won in many different awards in the past. And as for Star Wars and Life is Strange, these games were not extremely well received to get the victory. Moving to the next, best audio design, we have now Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Silent Hill 2. As for audio design, they say recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design. And I love Silent Hill, and I have seen many reviews saying that the 3D audio works perfectly in this game. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth uses music as part of some cutscenes, and that is extremely well done. As for Call of Duty, we know that this is because it's super complicated to replicate all of the sounds for multiplayer at the same time, multiple types of guns and anything. Astrobot is unlikely to win. I believe it will be either Final Fantasy VII Rebirth or Silent Hill 2. I think at this case because it is extremely hard to create a frightening experience, Silent Hill 2 may actually win. Although Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will win in a different sound category, and that one is Best Score and Music. Although we can see Metaphor ReFantazio appearing here as well, I believe that because Final Fantasy VII Rebirth uses music as part of the storytelling, it may actually win. Although Metaphor ReFantazio score is amazing and it has even become a trend, many people were enjoying and posting clips. So it's a tough choice because Silent Hill 2 is a good one, but I believe it will win in the other category. Astrobot is good, but nothing that will lead to a victory. And Stellar Blade also very good, but I don't think it can win versus those big champions. As for the next one, we have Best Art Direction. And for Best Art Direction, I do believe that Metaphor ReFantazio will win, since the art direction here is amazing. And you can see that they don't have Final Fantasy VII here. They have Astrobot, Black Myth, Wukong, Elden Ring, and Niva. Niva is an amazing game as well. And Elden Ring is just an expansion out of what was already done. And Black Myth Wukong is beautiful as well, but was not as popular as Metaphor ReFantazio was. And no matter what we say about performance, Metaphor ReFantazio is incredible. The art design is one of the best ones I have ever seen. Metaphor ReFantazio has some of the best user interfaces, loading screens, menus, art style, and that's it. It will totally win as the best art direction. Moving, we have the best narrative, and there are 3 JRPGs here, but actually 4 Japanese games. Final Fantasy VII, Rebirth. Some people may think that the end is not as good as the start. With Metaphor ReFantazio, I must say that the start is not as good as the end. Like a Dragon is another good one, but sometimes just because it is a game with lots of funny moments, it actually becomes a demerit to win at the best narrative. It should not be, actually. Then Hellblade 2 and Silent Hill 2 are very good, but Silent Hill 2 is a remake, and I can see them not choosing this game as the winner. So I believe, because Metaphor ReFantazio is being well received, it will win at best narrative, especially since it's not a remake like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. The next category will be Best Game Direction, and we have 6 games here: Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor ReFantazio. I believe Metaphor ReFantazio should win at this, because it does have such an amazing direction. Art direction, music direction, I think character design, and all of those well-designed things. Because it's also hard to make a JRPG with a turn-based system at 2024. Although Persona 3 Reloaded is another game that got released this year and was amazing as well. So I believe that Atlus nailed it. Metaphor ReFantazio deserves the best direction. As for the Game of the Year, haha, now it is again about Metaphor ReFantazio and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. When talking about JRPGs, I don't think Elden Ring will win, but thinking about the Game Awards, it may be the case that Astrobot wins. But if we were talking about the JRPG fight, in this case, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth should win. Like I said, it can also win Best JRPG, because it does have more ups than downs. And everyone loves it, while Metaphor ReFantazio still has performance issues. It still looks a little dated if you don't consider the art design. It's so incredible that we had the clash of 2 giants, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Metaphor ReFantazio, bringing the JRPG back in the scene for 2024, alongside many other games that are not here, but at least they are carrying the torch. Those are my opinions, totally biased towards JRPGs, because that's my thing, okay? Anyway, what do you think about this all? Would you vote for the same? Tell me here in the comment section your votes and if you agree or not. And let's celebrate the rise of JRPG at the Game Awards. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I hope to see you soon at the next video or live stream. Goodbye.